What a beautiful, beautiful morning here. Victory Monday. This is Unqualified with Frank Genzano
Dave McGaldy.
and Dave. Could it get any better?
No, I mean,
Heavyweight fight.
yeah, heavyweight fight. I wanted to vomit for until 5 seconds left in the game. So it's the way an Eagles Cowboys game should go, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, and it's arguably probably one of the best top four teams in the NFL, right?
Right. I mean,
You,
right.
you you got to sprinkle in Detroit. The Detroit Lions are pretty good.
Yeah.
You still have Patrick Mahomes and Andy, but
Yeah.
Dallas being right up there. They're a great team. As much as we hate them,
Of course. Right.
they're a great team.
And they're our primary division rival, which is always a step above, too. Right. Division games are always hard, no matter
Yeah,
what, no matter how good the other team is.
we should have lost the game.
I mean, they they outplayed us.
They outplayed us. Let's break the whole game down because I thought the officiating again was egregiously bad.
I mean, you saw Frank, you were there too. You saw there was a number of holding penalties that they just missed.
Yeah,
And at the same time of missing them, then call penalties against us,
right.
which is brutal.
Which was brutal. The stepping out of bounds with Dak, the official right in front of him,
Yeah,
the touchdown that wasn't a touchdown where the his knee was literally down outside of
right.
the goal line and the ball wasn't over. Like that play is right in front of you. How are you missing that?
Yeah. Did they miss the 2 point conversion?
So I thought they missed the 2 point conversion. Yeah, they missed the 2 point conversion.
Right, but they changed it right away.
They changed it right away, but I didn't think he got the yard to gain on 4th and 1, the sneak,
Right.
and then there was the penalty afterwards. After the play was dead.
Oh, how about the fake fumble from Swift?
Yeah,
Like there was just he was laying on the ground. Like
yeah.
how did they miss that one?
The officiating was bad, followed by Eli Ricks.
Uh,
I never want to see that guy in a uniform again. I mean, he just got exposed over and over again. There's no reason why Eli Ricks should be on CeeDee Lamb ever.
yeah. I mean, it was actually reminiscent of the Tampa Bay NFC Championship game of Joe Jaravicious running across the middle all day.
Yeah. Sloppy game, mismanagement of the clock,
Yeah,
right? But it's what you expect out of an NFC East rivalry game. They're
yeah,
always close. They were even close when Arizona slash St. Louis Cardinals were in our division, and we would play them tight.
yeah.
Um,
I was driving home after the game. I have some things to say about the game, mostly about people that go to the game.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But on the way home from the game, I was driving home, and the question on the radio was whether we should be happy with the win or are you still concerned about the Eagles? I think there's one answer to that question. We're 8-1.
Yeah, we're a good football team.
Right.
You're g- Are there some glaring issues? Yeah, but you're 8-1 and it was a
Yeah.
must-win game on during a very difficult stretch after you come back from the bye.
I mean, could you have asked at the beginning of the season if you were 8-1 going into the bye? Would you have been happy with that?
I would have been very happy. I wouldn't have been happy that the loss came from the Jets, though.
Well, right.
You know,
I mean, but the Jets don't seem to be too as terrible as we thought they were going to be.
no,
But their defense is good. But nevertheless, we're it's the NFL. Every team has NFL players on it. Every game is going to be hard. It's not going to be perfect. We beat the Cowboys, and they were 5-2 at the time, and our primary rival in the division, and one of the primary rivals in the NFC. Um, with with 49ers playing as bad as they've been playing,
yeah.
are they the number 2 team in the NFC right now, or
Uh,
maybe
uh,
Detroit?
I think
Maybe.
I think it's Detroit, and they have a very soft schedule
Yeah,
leading it for the rest of the year. We have a very difficult one. We have the next 5 games
yeah,
are burners. I mean, you got Kansas City
yeah,
Monday night, and then you come back on a short week, and you have Buffalo. That's
yeah,
an offensive juggernaut. Then you got San Francisco again on December 3rd, and then you come right back with the Cowboys
yeah.
on the 10th, another 8:20 game. It's going to be a late game.
Right.
Then you got the Seahawks, who
Aren't bad.
and we're playing them in Seattle. We never do well out there,
Yeah.
right? So you got to if you go 3-2 in this stretch, I would be really happy with it.
Right.
That you're 11 and 3.
Yeah, right.
and you're heading into Christmas. You're playing the Giants.
And then the rest of the schedule is really soft.
Relatively easy, right?
Yeah,
So, it's best case scenario. That's kind of what obviously best case scenario would be. You be 5-0 in the
yeah,
next one. It's
that's
not.
not
It's not going to
realistic.
happen.
Yeah,
We have some injuries, and I thought there was a lot of dirty play yesterday too.
yeah,
Mainly two plays that stick out the most. DeMarcus Lawrence is going after Jalen's knee, which was another non-call. He
right.
was being held up,
Yeah,
and Lawrence went after his knee. That's what that limping play was. I was so happy to see him jog out in the beginning second half. By
okay.
the way, if we're going to give awards out, Jalen Hurts gets a bad motherfucker award.
Yeah, he's a tough dude, bro. He's
Yeah.
a tough dude.
And then the Goddard injury. Yeah,
That's a broken. You said a broken arm.
broken forearm. He's having surgery today.
Jesus,
They think he's going to be back in 4 weeks.
really?
Yeah, which is.
That's just.
But I mean, listen, you do mixed martial arts.
Yeah,
Did you see the tackle there?
I didn't really. It was hard to notice. I didn't realize what happened to him. It
S-
makes more sense to me now that it's something broken because of the impact.
So he was stiff arming him, obviously.
Yeah,
And you shouldn't stiff arm somebody who's behind you.
right.
So who was the scumbag that tackled him? Uh,
How did he hit his arm? Did
he didn't hit him. It was Marquise Bell grabbed his arm,
Yeah.
then pulled his wrist out, and then tucked his arm under his right arm, and then came down on him.
Oh
That
Jesus.
that
Yeah.
that's a mixed martial arts move. It's a takedown move, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if it's the reverse of a heel hook.
So I know this is a little bit off topic, but I'm going to give some advice to anyone who is falling, right? So in judo, you practice falling a lot. And the first thing that you learn on a judo mat is how to fall, right?
Yeah.
So I know this is a little bit off topic, and he didn't have a chance to fall the right way. But many people, when they fall down, they post, right? They try to catch themselves with their palm down
Hmm.
or with their elbow,
Right.
right? Which is the exact opposite thing that you want to do because that's the way you break your shoulder and you break your elbow. That's the way you fuck up your joints.
Yeah.
So what you're taught to do is to extend your arm straight out, and you should try to hit the ground with your arm extended so all the entirety of your arm hits the ground at the same time. That's the way you're supposed to
Yeah. So
fall.
you're not supposed to go wrist, elbow, and then everything
Right.
breaks after that.
Right. So yeah,
Yeah.
not and then always, if you're falling forward, you're always tucking your chin and trying to roll over a shoulder.
Y- You know,
Anyway,
that's great advice, especially as we're advancing in age.
that's right.
We happen to fall a little bit more than others.
Yeah.
Speaking of falling, off topic,
Yeah.
fantastic event Saturday at
Uh,
the McGaldy compound in South Jersey. If anyone's been out there, it's delightful. Dave has go-karts, he's got four-wheel drives, he's got wave runners, he's got axe throwing,
yeah.
and he's got two, maybe three dogs that don't belong to him that just hang out at the compound. It is a lot of fun. Right.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see some of your family,
Yeah.
your extended friends who are family.
Yeah.
It was just a great time. The
Yeah.
person I'm most concerned about is your partner, Mikey Bright. Is he still sleeping on your couch?
No, he woke up the next day and he went to go play golf and then he teetered out. So Ricky Lee's got to go to the football
The
game with
football
me.
game with you, yeah.
But he made it.
He made it.
His shirt and his hat did not make it.
He's,
Mikey got to my house at like one, like right, like one of the first people there. By the time that you got there, Frank, what time did you get there? Maybe three.
I got there at 3.
Was he hammered by 3:30?
He started yelling at me as soon as I walked in. I haven't seen the guy in 18 months and he starts yelling at me.
Giving you wine, just
Right.
glasses of
He's
wine.
yelling at me. Steve Perini's calling me a bully. I'm like, I just walked in. Like, I said hi to everybody.
Oh, he
Right.
was so drunk.
And I loved it. I loved
My,
it. He was
my,
like, Frank, what song do you want to hear? I'm like, just give me your phone and no, just tell me.
yeah, yeah. And then by the end of it, we were playing like depressing soul music. And I remember when I had to take it off of him, it took me 20 minutes to change the playlist because he wouldn't give up his phone.
He walked away. I still don't want to tell this story,
I'll tell it.
but he walked away. I don't know. I think you were given rides on the quad
Yeah.
and two live crew came on
Uh-huh.
face down, ass up. And it's a family party,
There's literally
and I
30 kids.
couldn't get into his phone to shut it off. So I'm like, we're just gonna let this play out. Just see if anyone pays
Oh
attention.
my god, he's so good.
Face down, ass up. I'm like, oh my god, is
I,
this happening
this
right
can't
now?
be this can't be a Motown Mike podcast, but I love him to death. But he gets so drunk, and I mean he's harmless, but
So
you
harmless.
don't understand a word he says.
Yeah, he was
He,
speaking
be,
Micanese.
he becomes mush mouth. But Barry, one of his good friends, called him Uncle Earl. He turns into Uncle Earl.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Uncle Earl.
Barry, who he works with for the last 11 years.
Yeah,
I first time I ever met Barry.
yeah.
I wasn't really on my best behavior that day either, by the way.
That's okay.
Saturday. And they're hugging each other and they're talking about, they're just showing genuine affection for each other.
Right.
And Barry's a gentleman. He's also a black gentleman.
Yeah.
And I looked at Mike. I said, Mike, I didn't realize you were a size queen. Never met Barry before. I probably should have kept
No,
that comment.
no.
Yeah.
Barry's good. Yeah.
And then when your mom introduced me to her new fiance, I probably shouldn't have said that I was her girlfriend. She was my girlfriend for a while.
How'd that go over, Frank?
I don't know. John is his name.
John.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she likes Johns. She likes guys named John, by the way. Um, yeah. It was a blank stare, and he didn't know how to take it.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
He's a
okay.
very nice
He's
man.
a sweetheart, and it was a little later in the evening. Let's just say that. It's a little later in the evening. We opened up our second bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great time. I highly look forward to next year's. Maybe I might go. I'm a strong maybe on that one.
Yeah. So Frank likes to put maybe on all of my invites because I've talked about how much I dislike maybes in this podcast many times.
Yeah. Well, let's get back. Let's finish up. Let's wrap up this
All right.
Eagles Dallas rivalry.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I'm actually happy that it was as chippy as it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's not as chippy as it used to be.
Right.
Um,
Not.
the two fan bases hate each other,
Yeah.
and I love it. I love that they hate us and we hate them.
Yeah.
I'm also really proud of. I need to be transparent. I don't hate Dallas Cowboys fans who
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
in Dallas or in Texas.
Right.
Okay,
Or have some kind of connection to it.
connection,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if your name's Anthony and you're from 10th and Carpenter, like, why are you a Cowboy? Are you kidding me?
Because you're an asshole.
You're right. You're a straight up asshole.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to see like these assholes are having kids now,
Yeah.
and they're revolting. The kids are revolting.
Oh, that's a
I'm
wonderful
seeing
thing.
pictures of them in Eagles gear now. So in
And
my opinion, I think that was child abuse. If you if you're making your kid a Cowboys fan in
yeah.
Philadelphia or New Jersey or anywhere
Well,
outside of
it's
Dallas,
also a different time because the Cowboys aren't, as much as they want to be America's team, they haven't won, in this century. So,
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
which
literally.
which is going to bring me to my top five Eagles Dallas moments, by the way.
But yeah, I can't stand it. And to be honest with you, anybody that actively roots against their hometown, I don't see it any different than literally rooting against your high school.
We're America. If you're American,
Right. Yeah. We're
yeah,
like the people that were rooting against the women's American soccer team because they didn't like a couple of the people's politics.
right,
The same kind of shit. Like you're going overboard. I understand you got bullied as a kid.
right.
Get over
Get
it.
over it. Get
Anyway.
over it. There's some interesting facts about it. I didn't realize how one-sided it's been lately.
Well, yeah.
And it's been really, really one-sided. And for the better part of history, yeah, the first game that we played Dallas was in 1960. We won 27-25,
Yeah.
but it's been pretty one-sided. It's been a 73-56 overall against us.
Right.
In addition to that, I didn't realize we lost 14 out of the last 22 games against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Dak, Dak was wonderful yesterday. I mean,
He was really good.
he was good. He picked us apart. He looked like the quarterback the Cowboys thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
But then again, we make every quarterback look good with this secondary right now. Secondary is a little bit questionable.
Yeah.
Good to see Kevin Bedard come up big,
Yeah.
huge hit. Cunningham, the huge hit on Dak.
Yep.
That might be my screensaver for the next couple of days. Um, but he's We lost 9 out of the last 14 against them.
I know.
That's
At the same time, where we're really dominating the division for the most part.
yeah, just not them,
Yeah.
right? Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Getting happy birthday text messages for my kids. Well, everyone has their cell phone number. Text them. Right? By the way, happy
Yeah.
birthday, sweet 16 to my beautiful girl Marissa and Nikki. Happy birthday, buddy. Um, it's one thing I get emotional about with
Yeah.
those two. They were born at a very difficult time. My brother died on July 9th. On July 10th, I found out we're having boy girl twins.
Yeah.
I swear to God, my brother's reincarnated, like respawned him automatically into my son's body.
Yeah.
Love hanging out with them, but um, I got a little emotional this morning that they're 16, and realistically,
Yeah.
you only have your kids for 18 years,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
And then, the average is after their 18th birthday. Doesn't really happen in Italian American families, but after their 18th birthday, it equates to exactly 1 year that you'll spend with them until you die. And
Right.
that's incredibly depressing for me because I just love spending so much time with them,
Yeah.
right? I was at the game with my daughter yesterday.
Yeah.
My son was at the game too, but he was with his aunt and his grandfather in a different section.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to celebrating with them tonight and their sweet 16, or my daughter's sweet 16 party that
Yeah.
Nikki's invited to.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, Nikki, 16-year-old boys don't have birthday parties. You don't have birthday parties past 12.
Uh,
I'm like, okay, buddy.
Okay, tough guy.
All right. Got
Uh,
your girlfriend coming? No? All right. That's all I wanted to know. Yeah.
yeah, happy birthday to the two of them. Wonderful kids. And but it's exciting time, man, because they're, soon enough, I know they're going to be out of the house, but
Yeah.
they're going to become their own person and their own adult. And it'll be neat to watch that.
Yeah, their own adult. Your girlfriend got me this morning,
Oh,
Marissa.
yeah.
She walks down stuff. I'm like, hey, happy birthday, baby. She's like, thanks. Can you tie my shoes?
And
And,
of
and,
course you did.
and of course I did it, right? And as I'm tying them, I'm like, I have to tell Dave this
That's
because yeah,
amazing.
she
Right.
finds a way to get people wrapped around her finger pretty quickly.
That's amazing.
Dave, can you carry this for me?
So, talking about taking your kids to Eagles games. So yesterday, the guy I have season tickets with, Motown Mike, decided that he didn't want to go. So I asked my 17-year-old if he would like to go, and he said no because he had some project that he had to do that he procrastinated about. And then he says, but Nikki wants to go, my Nick, right?
Yeah,
My 11-year-old. And I kind of got mad at my son yesterday because that's not the way that I wanted that to go.
yeah.
Because now I got to explain to the 11-year-old that really wants to go to an Eagles game why I can't bring him to a Dallas Cowboys Eagles game.
It's a
Yeah.
different vibe for
Yeah.
an 11 year
And
old.
and listen, and it was fine yesterday to be honest, but if they lose that game, what's that scene look
It's
like,
a little
Frank?
ugly. It's ugly,
Yeah.
especially if there's Dallas fans near
Running
you,
their mouths, right?
right? Running
Yeah.
their mouths, pounding their chest, peacocking.
Yeah.
And our fans have been out for drinking for 8 hours.
Yeah. And it's never that great. And even yesterday, so I I whoever people there's somebody that sits behind me at the Eagles games that sells their tickets every week. And whoever they sell their tickets to is always the biggest fucking jerk off.
Yeah.
So yesterday, when I'm sitting there, I know this guy's whole life story because he can't just have a conversation in a fucking normal tone. He's got to be at the top of his lungs, Frank. I could hear him over people screaming. He's a nurse, Frank. He
Oh,
works 4 days a week. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And for the last 6 months, right? For the first 6 months of the year, and then he had to go January, February, March, April, and May, and June.
oh.
He had to tell you what those first 6 months of the year was. Yeah, that he's been traveling a lot, and I know his whole financial plan, and I know that he really doesn't. He uses Narcan a lot,
Narcan.
Frank, it was fourth down and goal.
He's still talking to you.
Fourth down and goal at the 2 yard line, what, in the fourth quarter, right?
Hmm.
When they stopped him, he's still talking about Narcan in the middle of the fucking play.
Jesus Christ.
Frank, why are you there? Why are you there?
Oh.
Why can't you go stand at the concourse down at the con? You're not watching the game.
So do you think he had Adderall or was it Coke?
Oh,
Which substance was
he's
allowing him to talk that
well,
much?
yeah, it had to be Coke. I
Yeah,
mean, it had to be like Coke
yeah,
spiked with Adderall. Like he just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
no.
And then I had to actually, there was like a minute left in the game, and it was very on edge. And then his woman that he was with starts screaming at the top of her lungs, "Don't give it back to them. Our defense sucks." Just screaming,
Oh,
screaming that our defense sucks. They gave up 6 points in the second half, by the way.
yeah,
I mean, again, they didn't play great,
no.
but I so at one point, Frank, in the middle of the game, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, "Can he just die? Is
Is he
it po-"
sitting in front of you,
No, right behind me.
right behind you?
So I said, "Rick, is it possible that this guy can just die?"
And Ricky's the nicest
Yeah,
guy in
and
the
Rick
world.
he's just laughing. Can he die? You think his mom can get cancer?
Oh my! You
Maybe his kids can get syphilis. I
you
said.
went right to Angry Dave. Syphilis? You
I
went Al Capone
I went
syphilis?
syphilis. I
Yeah.
went syphilis yesterday.
Jesus God.
I can't people just show up and watch the game?
So I had an incident as well, right? And I
Uh,
think you saw where I was sitting. And we had really nice seats.
yeah,
I was company seats,
right.
right? And the first couple drives, people were standing up. I get it,
Right.
right? It's exciting
Yeah.
times. Eagles, Dallas. It was an exciting, opening game. Then there was a lull, and then everyone in the section sat down except for the two guys in front of me, and they're two younger guys, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they were hockey players or lacrosse players. They had that kind of look,
Yeah.
but they were older, like maybe late 20s.
Right.
So someone, my guest, starts running her mouth a little bit about them not sitting down,
Yeah.
and my guest was Marissa. Okay,
Yeah.
and you know, sh- the redheaded kid turns around and was like, "Why everybody sitting down?" I said, "Because everyone is. We can't see if you're standing up." He was like, "Well, why doesn't everybody stand up?" I'm like, "Read the room, dude. Literally, we're in a TV timeout. Like everyone's taking a break. Relax." So the play started up again. Nobody in the section stands up except for these two. These two never sat down.
Well, it proves how strong of fans they are.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't.
yeah.
It doesn't. He turned back around. He was like, "Nobody's standing up." I'm like, "Yeah, and she can't see through you." He goes, "Well, why don't you tell her to stand up?" I said, "What the fuck did you say to me?" And Marissa grabbed my arm, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna snap out of it." And then I take a deep breath. I'm like, I'm here with my daughter. And
Yeah.
these are company seats. I'm surrounded by a lot of people that I know.
Right.
Um, and they finally sat down. But then, like afterwards, like after that interaction, they were like acting tough, like body checking each other, and like, just trying to prove that they were tough.
Right.
And like, I leaned over, like Marissa was, I think she was taking a picture of herself, doing a selfie,
Yeah.
and I said, "I'm not." Embarrassed."
Did you?
Yeah, and the kid turned around. I'm like,
I love you.
so about 10 minutes later, he turned around and he apologized. He's like, "I'm sorry for the hostility." I'm like, "That wasn't hostile." I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Enjoy the game. It's good." And then Marissa, "Yeah, yeah, Chach, turn around." She's calling him
Shot.
Chachi. "Yeah, Chachi, just turn around. It's okay." Yeah. So whoever is going to be her boyfriend needs to be tough because she's going to get them in trouble or she's going to handle it herself. Yeah.
One of the worst. We had really good seats one time. Michael used to get these seats from the guy, and we had them like twice. The second time that we had them, the person will go nameless, but it was a female that got in a fight
Ugh.
with somebody in front of us, and somebody might have got knocked the fuck out
At the game.
at the game.
Yeah, at the game. Shockingly, I didn't see any
Nah,
upticks.
it
We
wasn't that bad
we
last
had a
night.
whole row of Cowboy fans,
Yeah,
big dudes.
well, that
Right.
always helps actually.
Yeah, if they're big.
Yeah,
A couple people are running their mouth, but I mean,
although the big dudes generally don't run their mouth though.
no,
For the most part, it's really just people that run their mouth that they will find somebody that wants to fight them.
but they were from Texas.
Okay, yeah,
So I'm like, where, me. I'm like, "Hey, what part of Texas you from?" He was like, "Fort Worth." I'm like, "Okay."
yeah,
Like he had a Clemson hat on.
yeah,
All right, and he looked like a guy from Texas.
right.
All right, you're a fan. I have no problem with you at all
Of course,
whatsoever.
right.
But Anthony from 10th and Carpenter,
Yeah,
like
you're a fucking douche. And you know what? People that do that, I don't even like in real life. I have a problem trusting people like that.
Do you really?
It
One of
is
my best friends is a Cowboys fan.
it is. Listen, it is again. If you have no connection and you're just being a contrarian, because that's all that's
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
then I have trust issues with you.
yeah. His dad was a Cowboys fan. My friend, it's John, my friend John Nini. His dad was a Cowboys fan,
Yeah,
and he was like, "I'm going to be a Cowboys fan." Thank God his three kids aren't.
that's amazing.
Thank God. They broke that chain. Yeah, but yeah, it's trust or attention.
Yeah,
Like you're looking for like unwanted attention.
right.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
I never will. But let's we promised something last podcast.
yeah,
Our greatest Eagles moments, Eagles Dallas moments,
yeah,
right? We're gonna take it all the way back. I don't know if you were alive. No, you were, but you don't remember it. I vaguely remember this game because I got to stay up late,
yeah.
and my entire family was drinking and celebrating. It's when the Eagles beat the Cowboys in the first only NFC Championship game,
Right.
1981,
Yep.
January 11th. I thought my birthday's the 19th. I thought everyone was there to celebrate my birthday. They weren't. They weren't there to celebrate my birthday. They were there to celebrate a 20-7 rout
Yep.
of the Cowboys. That was a fantastic moment. I don't know if you recall much of that at all.
Nah, too
No.
young, really.
Yeah. Number two is the Leto Shepherd interception
Yep.
from Drew Bledsoe. They ran it, basically sealed the game, ran it back 94 yards or 96 yards to seal it. That was great because on the radio call, Mike, as soon as Leto intercepted the ball, and I love Leto Shepherd, man,
Yeah.
I really did. Um, just said it's over. That was it. That was the only thing Mike Quick added to that. It's over,
Yeah.
and then he ran it back.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's one that was one of my top 5 all-time regular season moments.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's a fantastic moment. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be unconventional here.
Go for it.
This is a fantastic Eagles Cowboys moment. It didn't happen in the game. It happened at the 2018 draft.
Oh, I love this moment. Yeah.
Yeah, we come off as Super Bowl champs,
Yeah.
right? And they have the draft. They started doing the drafts in different cities, and the year prior was in Philadelphia, and it was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
David Akers goes up to announce Dallas Goddard and trolled the entire audience of Cowboys fans. Best line was, "Hey Dallas, the last time you guys were in a playoff game, these draft picks weren't even born yet." Right? And just getting showered with booze and being vulgar towards him, and he stood tall and
Oh,
announced Dallas Goddard,
yeah.
who, speedy recovery, buddy. We're going to need you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
But
really.
top one of my top five
That's a
favorite
great
moments.
moment,
Yeah,
though.
it is a good one. The stop, right, 4th and 1,
Yeah.
with Emmett Smith, where it was 3rd and 1, they ran the play, they didn't get it,
Yeah.
and this goes to their arrogance, right? This goes to Jim Johnson's arrogance, the whole Cowboys like thing,
Yeah.
like you ran the same play
Yep.
you're going to run the same play
Yeah.
again, thinking that you're going to get it. I get it, it's Emmett Smith, but you're talking about the best defense in the NFL at the time.
Yeah.
And they stopped it and they went like I remember Seth Joyner like just fist pumping and going crazy after that
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then speaking of Seth Joyner, we're going to talk about the Bounty Bowl. It's probably one of my favorites,
Yeah.
right?
It was a great one.
It was a great one. So I don't know if you recall the details of that. We cut our kicker,
Yeah.
Luis Zendejas,
Right.
and they also cut their kicker. I forgot his name, and
Right.
we basically picked up each other's kickers,
Right.
right? But then they found out that Luis was, kind of like telling family secrets over there,
Right.
right? And they had a special teams meeting. Wes Hopkins goes in the special teams meeting and he's like, "Yo, I got $1,000 on who takes Luis out," right? And that thousand grew to 10,000, and
Yeah.
that was the Bounty Bowl. It wasn't Buddy's Bounty Bowl. Like Buddy
Right.
Ryan didn't do it. The players did it. That's when players didn't exchange jerseys
Yeah. Right.
after the game. Like they hated each other.
Yeah.
And if you hear Seth talk or the late Wes Hopkins, they hated the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And come to think of it, I don't have any love for any Cowboy,
Yeah.
whether even if they were an Eagle, like C. Terrell Owens. uh, Sorry, bro. You wear that star. Once you wear that star, you're done. You're dead to me.
Yeah,
And then once you wear the star and you come over here, I have no love to Marco Murray. I have no
yeah.
love for
Well,
you.
he was a fucking bust anyway.
Yeah, who was that scumbag cornerback that came over? He's supposed to be really good, and then he came over here and stunk. He stunk so bad I forgot his name. Um, yeah, so it's we're getting back to that rivalry.
It was a little chippy. Well, to your point about being chippy last night, it was a
Yeah,
little chip. It was a little nice to see like a little bit of the disdain for each other.
yeah,
It was.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of shoving, a lot of pushing,
Yeah.
some dirty plays on their part. And when players are playing dirty, you're winning.
Right.
They tried. They really tried. You going after the quarterback's knees.
Yeah.
That's dirty.
That's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
it's not 1980 anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So yeah, that was absolutely some of my favorite moments. Some honorable mentions. The 2014 Thanksgiving Day game where we blew them out.
Yeah.
That was Chip Kelly,
Yeah.
I
Chip
believe.
Kelly.
Yeah. Um,
He started off strong,
he's
and then we realized he didn't like black players. But anyway, I mean that's the fucking truth.
slightly racist.
Yeah. Jesus
Can't
Christ.
be racist in a football coach. I mean, you can. It's just not going to work out for you. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Another honorable mention. T.O. leaves to go to the Cowboys, and then we get revenge and we beat them.
Yeah.
Um, to basically clinch a playoff spot. That was great in 2005. Um, it's I just hate them so much. I really do. I
Yeah.
hate that star. I hate the owner.
Well, yeah. It makes it easier to hate them because the owner's such an arrogant prick too.
Yeah, I know. The pickle juice game is
That was a
another
good
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good one. But these are my favorites. Pickle juice was great. I mean, was that 2000?
Yeah. I had that as one of the top five. I
Did you?
think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Top five all time. Yeah. But anyway. But yeah, it was good. Great one.
yeah. I mean, Don Meredith died, and I'm like, so that's how much I hated them, and I
Uh,
still hate them.
I'm just glad fucking Emmett Smith's fat now.
He used to kill us. He really used to kill
Listen,
us.
I do listen. Emmett Smith is a great running back, objectively, but he is one of the more overrated running backs in the history of the game. I mean, he certainly he has all the yards and accolades and all that stuff, but he was behind the best offensive line for 10 years. So I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
you could have been a 1,000 yard rusher
yeah,
behind them.
yeah. The fact that they list him and Barry Sanders in the same sentence pisses me off.
That should never happen.
Yeah.
And I think Emmett would understand that.
I think actually he probably would. Yeah.
Yeah,
You,
it's
you know what's funny though is that Troy Aikman of all people always gives love to the Eagles on those national broadcasts.
yeah. I listen.
I don't know what that is, but he does. He does seem to uh, like the culture or something. I don't know, or like the team.
The culture is great. But I mean, listen. I love this coach.
Yeah,
I
me too.
really do. I love what they're doing. I don't like the. I don't like. He was hot after the 4th and 1, like where they gave him the line the game, which I didn't think he got.
Right.
And he challenged it, and then when they didn't overturn it, he was hot. Like he
Yeah.
was in the official's face, and another official had to separate them.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want to see out of your coach,
Yeah. A little
right?
bit of fire. Yeah.
Right. A little fire, a little pettiness, which I'm always a big fan of, by the way.
Not me. I'm not petty at all.
I love the pettiness. I'm happy to see that this rivalry's back, and I'm really looking forward to December 10th when we play them
Yeah, me too.
again.
All right, let's do the catch up.
The ketchup sponsored by. Well, I don't understand why we don't have any sponsorships yet. But when we build our studio, watch it's Steak 'em Up's going to be like, let's call it the Steak 'em Up Studio.
Steak 'em up studio.
Now's the time, Mike. Not that we're bullying you like you bully us to come out and have a drink with you on a Thursday afternoon at 2:30.
Mike might be in the middle of having a baby right now.
Oh, really?
I mean, he's not going to have the baby, obviously, because he
No,
doesn't have the parts. But his significant other, maybe
partner,
partner.
partner. All right, the catch-up brought to you by No One Still. Big news: we finally traded James Harden.
Goodbye,
See ya. Amazing how great of a team they turned in after he left.
dude. They're playing really well. So let's talk about the trade real quick.
Yeah,
I mean, they what did they get? They got some maybe some rotational pieces, maybe,
right. They got
but
Maurice Morris back. Right.
they got Covington,
Yeah.
and I don't really know anybody else. And then and but they got 2 first-round picks.
They got 2 first round picks that they can use for draft capital
Yeah,
or trade capital in the event that they want to go out. But Kelly's playing really well.
yeah,
They're the first team in history to have 4 players average 20 points.
yeah, Kelly Oubre. Um,
Kellen Obrey.
they're playing really well. Maxey, I thought this from the beginning, Frank, is that they just need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
That Maxey could play his role already.
Yeah, time to watch him flourish.
I mean, the one thing I think, the Anthony Melton not really
No,
playing well.
no. Well, I can tell you that while you're
Yeah,
looking at your notes, they beat
yeah,
a very good Phoenix Sun team.
that's right.
You know, they
Four,
112, 100,
and the only loss they have is against Milwaukee at Milwaukee, and it was a close game. I mean,
and was the first game of the year.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Obrey's averaging 21 points and 4 rebounds, shooting 53% from the field. Maxey 26 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 48% from the field.
Mhm.
Harris 20.6 rebounds, 64% from the field. He's uh,
It's really good.
yeah, Embiid 28 points, 11 rebounds, 6 to 6, 2 blocks. 6 assists is big for him. So
It's huge.
they're moving the ball around. They're playing a real fucking offense.
Yeah.
Melton's shooting 28% from the field. So
Well, we got to work on that in practice, buddy.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
So
Listen, last game, Maxey had 22 points. Joel had 26. Tobias had 18 and 10 rebounds.
yeah,
Kelly Ope, this might be the shooting guard that you've been needing.
right.
25 points
He could
in
fill it up, brother.
35 minutes. You
Dude,
know,
and again, he's shooting 53% from the field. I mean,
yeah.
I don't, can that withstand? Probably not. But if he can shoot 45%, that's fucking fantastic. So,
The NBA started their in-season tournament this week.
okay, explain that to me because I don't even know anything about it.
You're right. I think it's a great idea if you did it as a playoffs,
Right,
not as, hey, we're going to try and make it a little more exciting and we're going to have 6 teams, we're going to have pools of teams, playing each other in season.
right,
It feels like a try hard to try and match what the NCAA tournament does.
right.
Um,
So, what do you get out of it if you win it?
Nothing. The only thing I think you get money.
Okay.
Um,
I
and
mean,
the championship game doesn't count, but all the other games count towards your seasonal record.
okay, and
So,
then you get an award or something.
right, I think if you wanted to kind of spice it up a little bit, I do think the NBA playoffs are a little too long.
Yeah,
I would like to see them reformat a little bit and have it be like the everyone makes um the playoffs, right? And do a bracket system, but do it in a 3-game set and start it in February.
right,
Get all of your 81 games in from October until middle of February, and then bring that championship style you know, into the NBA. I don't understand why they're doing the in-season tournament. I don't get it. Sixers played their first in-game tournament against Detroit. They're going to win their pool. They're the best team in their pool. They're probably the best team in their conference behind Boston right now. In my opinion.
or
I think,
Milwaukee maybe.
well, maybe Milwaukee, but it's I think we match up really well with Milwaukee. I think against Boston we have some defensive challenges,
Yeah,
but I think with Kelly Oubre and I think Maxey being able to cook, if he could learn how to defend that perimeter, I think we're going to be okay with him. I
yeah.
really do.
Right.
Big game on Wednesday. We play Boston,
Yeah. Well, so
so
we'll see. We'll
yeah,
see. I think it'll be a good early season barometer.
yeah, yeah.
To see where we're at.
Our fly guys, it's win one, lose one right now, but
Yeah.
I love their style hockey.
I mean, they're playing hard. They still stink. The coach pretty much admitted it.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you beat the Sabre, you go into Buffalo, you beat them 5-1, and come back the next day and you lose 5-0 to the Kings.
yeah, get smashed. So
Yeah,
they're 5, 6, and 1 right now.
but I think that's going to be their season.
Yeah.
They're going to win one, lose one, win one, lose one. I do see them possibly, if they continue to play this way, maybe making the playoffs. They're going to need a trade.
Yeah.
What do you have on them?
Yeah. I mean, the 37 goals for, 39 against. The one thing about they don't really have to tank this year because the draft is not that deep this year
Right.
as it has been in years past. I don't see them trying to push for the playoffs. I see them getting close to the trade deadline and and trading away the rest of their veterans. That's what I see, and really just blowing it up.
Yeah, get some youth in here,
Yeah,
build around Carter Hart. You know, he's still relatively young.
yeah,
He's a good goalie. He just needs some guys in front of him.
yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
yeah. So it's going to be an up and down season, but at the very least, they look like they're playing inspired hockey.
true.
Even when they
Yeah.
lose, they look like they're in the game. So I mean, that's different than it was in the past.
By the way, on his 36th birthday, which was yesterday, Jason Kelsey
Yeah.
gets back to his locker room, and guess what his birthday gift was?
Uh, a naked picture of Taylor Swift.
No,
I mean, I don't know. I
a
mean,
drug
maybe.
test. Hey, you got to do a drug test.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey,
Jason Kelsey, of all people. Yeah.
jerk
Um,
off.
yeah, it's great to see so many Jason Kelsey jerseys though
Yeah.
at the stadium, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, whoever loves an offensive lineman,
Other fat guys. That's it.
you don't even know they exist, right?
Right.
And it's funny just talking about the tush push or whatever the
Brotherly
brotherly
shove.
shove. I do love that name.
Yeah. It's
Um,
my favorite play, by the way.
Nobody else does it, right? So they had, I mean, the Cowboys got a bunch of fourth and ones yesterday and converted, but they did it in a very different way. But
Yeah.
it's completely unstoppable. But the reason nobody else can do it is because we got a quarterback that can fucking squat more than most offensive linemen,
Right.
and then we have an Hall of Fame center.
Center.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Two great players.
Did you see the one play where Michael Parsons? It was on our 1 yard line when
Yeah,
we stopped them.
yeah,
He's tried to goes up top, and he literally body surfed for 3 yards.
yeah.
Like that's how strong that pile is,
Yeah,
right? You got to get lower. You got to get better leverage.
right,
And that's the only way I see you stopping that play. And then once you stop it, then we have different variations.
right. Because you're going to have to go all out to stop it.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
you're not going to be able to stop it with three guys. It's all 11 that are going to have to stop it.
Do you think he wants to be an Eagle,
Oh,
Parsons?
100% he does.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I think it was obvious in the off season to me.
Obvious in the offseason, obvious in his comments leading up to this game. He was like, "Hey, Cowboys fans, show up. We want this to be a home game." They don't they don't show up. They don't travel like we
No,
travel.
but we also don't give away tickets like
No,
other places do. I mean, obviously there were Cowboys fans and people are giving away tickets. They do it at every stadium, but it's not like it's here
no.
because people want to be there.
Right. If I'm selling tickets, I'm going to make sure that I'm putting it on my Facebook, and you're going to get screened.
Yeah,
Like we sold playoff Phillies playoff tickets. I sold it to a friend who I knew was a Phillies fan.
right,
You know,
right.
last thing I want to do is put somebody from Arizona
Yeah,
or
like
somewhere else
I sold my
the
Miami
Braves.
Dolphins tickets. Who cares?
Right.
Was it going
Right.
to be four Miami Dolphins fans? But but yeah, not an Eagles Cowboys game. I can't do it. I
Uh,
would rather give them away.
Going back to the trade, James Harden showed you exactly who he was in
Oh
his press conference when he's saying he wasn't fitting into the system, that he was the system.
yeah,
Like maybe you were 5 years ago, but in order for you to be successful in this league, you have to adapt and
I
change.
actually like the way Embiid responded to it. He's like, I don't know what he's talking about. We gave him the ball.
Yeah,
He had the ball every fucking
yeah.
possession.
And it's I feel bad for Embiid because he had two guys that were extremely selfish,
Yeah,
and Ben Simmons and James Harden.
yeah.
Um, you know,
And the one guy that he really clicked with, they he's too much of a too much of a mouth. Really, that's probably what Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler. He's a ball player though.
He is a hell of a ball player, but he just has too much to say. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what's his problem.
hated the coach.
Yeah, well,
He basically said it's either me or the coach, and then once ownership hears that, it's going to be the coach, right?
unless but because they thought that the coach could get something out of Ben Simmons, I guess, and they were dramatically wrong.
No, I like this coach. I like Nick Nurse.
Yeah, Nick
I
Nurse, he
really
looks
do.
like he can actually coach. I mean,
Which is nice.
it is nice.
Nice to see that, right? You can make some in-game adjustments when you need them.
Yeah, an actual it looks like an actual offense. They move the ball. Jesus H Christ, beautiful.
Also, the catch up. We're going to talk about something red.
Yeah,
In the third quarter of yesterday's game, there was a play on the Eagles sidelines where the card guy gets knocked down and tackled, and it exposed that he's wearing a red thong.
Is that right?
Yeah, and probably my favorite tweet came from blackgritty.com,
Yeah.
and he said, "Whoever that dude is wearing a red G-string, you can go home now."
Right.
Right, and
Just
just
it's over.
yeah, right. It's just a loop of him getting knocked over, turning around, bending over to get up, and you just see his red thong.
He had a red
He
thong
had a
on.
red thong on.
What the ever loving
He
God.
wasn't one of the cheerleaders, male cheerleaders.
So Phillies season is over now.
Yes.
So what do you think? What do you think they need in the offseason? What so obviously they need a pitcher, whether that's Aaron Nola or somebody else.
Yeah, you need to go get a number two,
Right.
and you need to go get a legit closer.
Right.
And and then I think you need to build around that offense. I don't think you need anything else right
Center
now.
fielder. I mean, do you need or another outfielder?
Center fielder possibly could hit over 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that outfielder's not Mike Trout.
Right. No, I don't think you're going to go get Mike
I
Trout.
don't want $1 billion tied up in three players.
Right. No, I hear
You
you.
can't have that happen. What are your thoughts on our outfielders there?
So I mean, there's some outfielders out there right now. So you got Cody Bellinger, 28 years old, coming off of 97 RBIs, 26 home runs. Jorge Soler, more of a corner outfield. He's 32.
Yeah,
Um,
but the defensive issues there.
yeah, he's not a great defender. I mean, again, I don't know if you want to get weaker in the defense because you it proved to be really advantageous to have a strong outfield in the
Right,
playoffs.
right.
Then you got this one kid um, from Japan, uh, Jung Hoo Lee. He's 25. He batted 429 for the for Korea in the World
He's
Baseball
not the
Classic.
Japanese player that I want.
Oh, you want to
I want Otani. Yes.
oh Otani.
Listen, if I'm going to break the bank, if I'm going to spend $1 billion
Yeah.
on three players, it's going to be on Otani.
Otani, but the problem with Otani though is, well, first of all, we don't know when he's going to pitch again,
Right.
and then he's another DH because he can't really play the field.
No.
So if you get him, you have to trade Schwarber.
Well, yeah. Well, he's in the last year of his contract. Excuse me. Still have a little bit of the game voice happening right now. He's in the last year of his contract. So is Castellanos as well. They're probably not going to be resigned,
Yeah, right.
right? So if you make a move like that, then yeah,
You got to trade the two of
you
them
have to trade one
or
of
one
them,
of them. Yeah,
right? And one of them can play better defense if he's playing far enough over to the right side of center field,
right.
so he could field glove side.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the other outfielder that I had was Lourdes Gurriel, that was out there that could really help us. So, I mean, there's some outfield help out there.
there is, and there's some pitching help out there that I really like.
Yeah,
There is Yashashubo Yamamoto.
that's right.
Yes, right-handed pitcher is 25 years old. Blake Snell's also out there as well.
Yeah, he
Um,
went 13-3 in the final 23 games, 120 ERA, 2018 Cy Young Award winner.
yeah, after a horrific start.
Horrific start.
And listen, San Diego's a tough place to play.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it is.
Nobody shows up.
No,
Nobody shows up there. And I think as much shit as the fans get, the one thing we do really well is we show up and we support our team. And a lot of players don't have that where they are right now. You saw the admiration of how well it was received and how electric it was to play here,
right.
right?
Yeah, I mean, at these places where sunny South Florida, where people are really not from. There's not a whole lot of people from San Diego. It's a military town. It's a transient town.
Yeah.
Same thing with South Florida, and people just don't care about the pro sports like they do here. I
No,
mean, they just don't.
I do think they make a strong push against Josh Hader. That's probably going to be
Well,
our closer.
he's it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, he's the only one out there. The only other two closers that are out there are two guys that you tried already. Robinson has a history, and Kimbrel.
Yeah.
And who wants either one of them? I mean,
No one. I mean, the first trade happened today.
who's that would have?
Mark Kana got traded, so the hot stove's heating up already.
So, and then I got Noel as the number three, number three starter out there in free agency. My like sleeper pick is Jordan Montgomery.
Really?
Dude, he since 2021, his ERA is 3.48 for the several teams that he played for. Right
Yeah.
in the postseason this year, his ERA was 2.90, and in his 11 starts for the Rangers, it was 2.79. So he's pitching well. I mean, is he really a number two? I don't know. Or is he another number three? But He's a guy that you might be able to get a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, I like that. I like that play. I really do. What do you do about Reese Hoskins?
You can't resign him. I mean, I feel bad for him unless he wants to do a nice sweetheart deal.
I
And
think
make
he may have to do a 1 year prove it deal.
right.
Honestly, I don't think he wants to do that. You're coming off an injury.
Yeah,
It's the heart and soul of that clubhouse,
but
though.
I think that all depends on whether Bryce Harper can go back in the outfield.
Yeah, if he can go play left field, right, it solves a multitude of problems right now because then you put Marsh back at center, and
Right,
you have decent speed with Harper and Marsh out there. They can make up for Castellanos. You have Hoskins back at first.
right.
He's 31. Is he going to sign a 1 year deal? That's the problem. He could bat seventh and eighth. He could bat it behind Castellanos, right, and he
Yeah,
can give him some. You can give him some protection there.
I don't know, but yeah, I just you can't have him like 1 and 2, like him and Schwarber. They'll both bat 220. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And yes, they'll walk some, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a problem with them resigning him. It's just, but unless Harper can't play the outfield again, because
because of his arm.
I mean he's a better first baseman than Reese Hoskins already.
Yeah, defensively, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a better ball player, right?
Right.
By the way, it was good to see him at the game yesterday.
It was.
Yeah.
It was good. It was nice crowd reaction.
All right, speaking of reactions, and we're going to talk about that. Um, were you surprised that it was Bradley Cooper?
Yeah. Oh, that they showed, you mean?
Yeah, I didn't recognize him at first.
Oh, yeah. He looked like,
Lost a lot of weight
yeah, he did. He's probably, doing some thing for a movie or
for a
something.
that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. He's not full blownsies.
Yeah.
You know, you know
Full blown Z's.
what is wrong with me? Um, let's stay on baseball real quick. Are you
Yeah.
surprised that Bryson Stott didn't get the Golden Glove?
I am surprised. I don't know anything about the kid that got it. So
Never heard of him. Nico,
yeah,
Nico Horner.
I am surprised. He played a hell of a defense
Yeah,
this year on a very a team that won. So it seemed like a shoe in, but whatever.
yeah. Zach Wheeler, congratulations! You got the Golden Glove for being the pitcher. The only Philadelphia Philly that got a Golden Glove. I'm
Right.
shocked that Trey Turner didn't.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Not at all.
Uh,
Congratulations to
but
D'Anthony Swansea there.
yeah, I mean, that kid can play defense.
Yeah,
And the other one that maybe deserved it, but has gotten them in the past is JT.
JT.
So I mean,
Well,
that's
no, what's this? The kid from Arizona got it.
yeah,
He played really well.
yeah, he's a good player.
Your boy Christian Walker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
Gold Glove.
dude, he can play defense.
He can play defense. He can hit when you need him to hit. Sometimes,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, he had a terrible series against us, but
Yeah,
and
pride of Kennedy Kendrick. That's not open anymore.
then they just shit the bed in the fucking World Series, though, didn't
The
they?
World Series. So congratulations to the Texas Rangers. I was infuriated watching that World Series.
Yeah, Frank, I didn't watch an inning.
You didn't watch an inning?
I couldn't do it.
No.
I mean, I'm an ultimate homer.
I get it. I'm a baseball guy. I love
I
baseball,
love
but
it too, but I can't. Like after
you're too heartbroken.
I was
Yeah,
heartbroken because we're better than the Texas Rangers too.
we are. We are. And it's just if we didn't play meathead baseball,
Yeah,
and
it's
that
just frustrating.
it was my biggest problem with them chasing pitches like that. Um,
Do you have anything on the? We got a soccer team here. Are they in the playoffs or something?
who? I never heard of them. What do they call the Union?
The Union.
Union
What do we got on the Union?
soccer.
I meant to look that shit up.
Soccer. Who are they playing, by the way?
I don't know.
Oh, they play New England back to back on Wednesday and on Sunday. So,
is it playoffs?
sure.
Playoffs? I don't
Talking
know.
about playoffs?
I have
Jim
no
Moore.
idea.
Yeah, it looks like it is. So it definitely looks like it is. So they, what's wrong with us? This is truly unqualified right here. Yeah, New England took the first match 2-1,
Okay.
and then the Union came back and won 3-1 Saturday, October 28th. They play this Wednesday,
To,
which at 7 o'clock at Chester,
okay.
beautiful downtown Chester.
It's beautiful there. It actually is a beautiful stadium. I've been
The
there.
stadium's amazing,
Yeah.
right? And it's a fun match to go to,
It is. It is.
right? If you like soccer.
Yeah. I mean, well, people get into it. I like it.
Can we just call it football, European
Football.
football?
Football. It
Foot,
is. It is.
Soccer sounds like, a game Chris Brown plays with one of his girlfriends.
Uh, that's
Oh,
good.
oh, Lord. Yeah, so yeah, good luck to the Union on Wednesday at 7. And that's basically we have no errors in admissions. We had no errors
Yeah,
last
we're
game.
getting better at this. I
Sure.
mean, we're still unqualified.
Yeah.
Again, as I at least know how to throw a punch,
Oh,
unlike some
he was at the game yesterday.
Stephen A.
He was at the game.
Was he screaming?
There's some pretty nice photos of him with some very attractive young
Yeah,
ladies.
come on,
And
money will do that for you.
and then he left early
I'm
and
shocking.
he had to jump on a plane to go down to Savannah to do his videotape. But yeah, he was at the game laughing it up on the airplane.
Yeah.
He ha- he probably hates the Cowboys more than we hate them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I at least like him for that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that was pretty interesting to see Stephen A. at the game, Bradley Cooper, Bryce Harper. To bring some, I mean, Mike Trout's always there,
Right.
right? It's nice to see some superstars coming out to watch some good
Yeah,
football.
I also like this era of sports where like they look like they root for each other.
Yeah,
It because you growing up, I never remember any of that.
right.
Like I never remember a football guy showing up to a baseball game
Like ever.
ever.
No, no.
Of course, we were terrible at baseball for for most of our childhood, but
Right. And if they were showing up, they were forced because, like, here, come throw out the first pitch, come
right,
take batting
right.
practice.
And then what baseball player wanted to show up to the vet
No one.
where you could fucking break an ankle walking in the concourse? But
I miss the vet, though. I miss that smell.
oh god, you know how many times I peed on a fucking electrical?
I know.
Remember the electrical rooms? You would have to go. It would be so busy there. You literally, if you stood in line, you would be standing in line for a half hour to go piss.
Yeah.
So people would just
Go to the sink.
they would go to the sink, then they would pee in the electrical rooms.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That's not healthy.
Not healthy
It's a hazard.
as a risk manager.
Right.
Pretty risky.
What was the cause of loss? Why did we lose our entire electrical system?
So,
Oh, Johnny Fortunato over here from 22nd Renner pissed on the fucking electrical box.
you got anything else today?
Yeah, I want to give a. We have two huge fans, by the way.
We
Want to
do.
give them a shout out. To Joey Procopio and Nick Genzano. They listen to every podcast. They love it. They give me notes.
Do they?
They do.
Well,
Yeah,
we should get them on. We should get them on.
they would love that.
Well, Joe, I don't know you, buddy, but thank you for listening. We're happy to have notes and ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
And Nick, go fuck yourself.
Until next time, people.
We're out. Peace.